You want a video conference in 10 minutes? Seriously? Oh, well, what do we do here? Stay tuned because we're going to find out what we can do. It's not going to help in that very moment, but if you prepare for it a little bit ahead, just have some ideas about what you want to do. One of the first things you want to do is actually inspect yourself. You know, you want to check you don't have anything in your teeth. I'm not wearing any makeup right now, and I have a little angry spot here. I think it's happened from wearing some of those masks when I've been out. And you want to look at your hair. So how do you usually wear your hair? I mean, most of us have been video conferencing for some time now. I know for me, one of the easiest things to do is pull it back. So I just washed it today, but if I hadn't just washed it today, this is some dry shampoo. I would dry shampoo the roots, maybe just in the front part so you'd see it, and style it however you want. If you want it down in front of you, zhuzh it up later. But for me, I know I always have it back, so I'm just going to pull it back right away because that will also help keep it out of my face, because remember, we want to do this fast. So we want to pick out some things that are so tried and true that are going to work. I know I'm going to put on a ring, I'm going to put on some earrings, I'm going to have a scarf. I have a mirror here because I'm glasses wearer, so I have to use 10x mirror when I do stuff up close. But one of the first things is it's warm today in the house and I feel like I need to freshen up a bit. But again, time is of the essence, so I'm just going to take some spritz water, spritz my face really well. You know, you need to know if you need to get on with some moisturizer or not. For me, I always moisturize around my eyes because if I have too much, I'd rather blot it off than not have enough. So I'm just going to use one of these little glowy type serum drops. And I literally just put 2 drops into my hand. And I only rub it in my hands to spread it everywhere. And I just press it into place. And whatever brush that I use for my foundation, even if you use brushes or sponges, when you need to do it quick, you need to have something just at the ready. And so, believe it or not, I'm kind of getting this a little bit prepped, and it's also taking the excess off my face. So, here we go. Got that going on. I feel like I'm a little bit red today because I've been running around, but I'm not going to worry about that on camera. I have another trick for that. So, I'm just going to take a little bit of eye cream. If you're not the type that needs a touch up with eye cream, maybe you have more like oily lids or oil around your eyes. I'm not doing my lids right now. I kind of just put a little bit over my brows. And I'm going to let that sit in. And I'm also going to do a little bit of lip prep. So it doesn't really matter the products that you use. It's just that whatever you have that works for you. So here we go. A little lip prep on there. Really wipe it in, kind of wipe the excess off a little bit so it's not like too much. So I'm just warming up my hands. I'm going to go for a little bit of tinted moisturizer. If you're not a tinted moisturizer person, whatever your deal is, if it's a foundation, what works really fast and really great because you're powdering and putting foundation on at the same time is a powder foundation, and you just hit your brush in it and you basically would concentrate it here, more in the center of your face. So here I'm just going to take a little bit of tinted moisturizer, and I'm really only using about that much product. And I'm just going to hit those areas in the middle of my face. You know where your problem areas are. I know I got a little problem going on here today, so I'm going to have to get to that after. So again, I'm going to take my foundation brush and just make sure that there's no streaks. Because I want to really do this fast, I'm not like going to touch up with concealer after. I'm just hitting it so I can go and be ready in a few minutes. So now I'm just going to get some concealer. So I have an eye brightening one. I have another little liquid one that I carry around. I also like the Glossier stretch concealers. Those are really fantastic. In fact, when you're really in a rush, you can use those in many cases to do your foundation with them. So you're kind of just spreading them out right after you put your moisturizer on in a few areas, and like you're ready to go. So I have one of these brushes that's got this on the end. So I kind of pat those products into place. And I kind of look at myself from afar if there's anything else that needs a little bit extra. And this is a clean brush that I started with today. Cleaning your brushes is really, really important, not just for makeup artists, for anybody. So I hit it, that's it. So now for me, I'm gonna go right to my brows. I don't do a whole lot with your brows if your brows, and plus I wear glasses. So when you put your glasses on, kind of conceals a little bit. So if I wanted to, I could skip this step. If you're somebody who doesn't wear glasses, you got to put your brows on. This is probably the most painstaking or thing that you have to do that takes the most time. But again, doesn't have to be totally perfect, because you're going to be on camera and it's not going to pick up all the fine details. So you kind of, want to look at it from afar in a mirror. I have a mirror here in front of me, and I have one off here to the side that's a little bit an enlarging mirror. And there we see. Got my brows on, kind of doing this from afar, judging myself. And now I'm going to go right on to eye color. So you don't even have to do this step. If I wanted to, I could just powder my eyes, but I'm actually just going to put a little bit of a glowy shadow on the lid. It's a glowy shadow like that. Just touch the lid. And if this was, if you were meeting friends for cocktails over video, or you were doing this for work, you can adjust this process to what you actually need. So I just got my lids highlighted a little bit, and I'm just going to use a darker shadow here. This one I'm just going to put on the palette. Try to work clean. These are my personal products, but it's always nice to work from the palette. I just kind of hit it here with my finger. Tap the excess off. And I just start building where I know I need shadow to kind of make my eyes look a little bit bigger. Now don't worry if I mess up, because I'm just doing this really quick, really light. Just want to get my eyes to look a little bit fresher. And for me, sometimes I put my glasses on and I'll double check that, but we're kind of just hoping for the best here. Again, the camera's not going to pick up if everything's not perfect. You just want to look a little bit more wide awake. I'm just going to take my concealer brush and clean up around those edges. And I'm just going to clean off that concealer brush and kind of knock off any of that extra powder. Extra product, I should say. Now I'm just taking this one, kind of softening everything. And now I'm going to go in with a eyeliner. I have a few different, oops, hit my camera. I have a few different ones, but I like to do a little bit of a modified cat eye. And I'll draw it in like this. And then I'll just kind of tap it out and soften it. Again, tap that out. And this is what works for me. Whatever your eye shape is, whatever your go-to makeup is, just find a way to do it really quick. And sometimes that can be, I've used all cream products. I find that those just give really good results very quickly. I feel like I have to touch up this eye a little bit more. After looking in the mirror, blend that in a little bit. And you can put mascara on at this point. For me, I just kind of don't bother with it. I don't know if it brings that much to the party for me. I kind of laid off the Latisse, so my lashes aren't really that long and luscious anyways. So now I'm going to go to the cheeks. The camera sometimes can wash you out, so it's nice to have a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blush, but that's up to you. I like these kind of stick ones because I can really just throw it on super quick and kind of pat it into place and be done with it. If your skin isn't up for a product like that, you can always go to a powder blush and put that over it. Or put it with it. Will have a little bit more holding power, but remember, this is just so that you look quick, decent for camera. I'm actually taking a little bit of powder. I should have used another brush for this, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna blend all that in, and I'm gonna inspect my little spot here. It's pretty good for the camera. I find in the camera, I need a little bit more on the lips. So if I want to do a neutral lip, I'll choose a lip pencil. This is Urban Decay's Liar. I've always really liked it because it's nice and neutral. And so I can do that one and I could be ready to go. Have a little bit of extra lip product on. I just put it on the back of my hand. Blot a little bit of it off. I think I'm going to go with this scarf here, which has a little bit of punch of color, and I think it's going to work better if I do a little bit of punch of color on my lips. So, and that can be done in a few ways. You can do, if you have a lipstick that you can put on and you're done and you don't need lip liner. For me, I need that little extra kick of lip liner. It goes in my little stash here, and I just have this red one. And I like to draw out my lips a little bit. Just past the Cupid's bow on the outside. You can see the difference there. And then from the bottom, don't go too far out. Especially as we get older, we don't want to draw everything out in the bottom. When we want to go for bigger lips, we want to go more this way rather than this way. Because I still have that emollient on my lip, I find the liner holds nice and long. So I can go with that. I can leave it if I wanted to. I can bolden it up and put a little bit of lipstick on. Kind of bright. If it's a little bit too bright, again, I just blot it out in the back of my hand, rub that away. So then now you're just going to inspect yourself. You know, do you look decent enough? I'm going to throw a ring on. I'm going to throw earrings on. Whatever your go-to earrings. I know that this all coordinates together. So that's the thing about planning. Just know a few things that work. If you don't always want to wear the whole thing and the same thing, and you know, you don't do scarves, well, you do other kinds of blouses or shirts, have those ready to go. Another thing I do is I'll use a little bit of hand cream. Make sure I look like I'm put together. And see, for me, the scarf works really well because if I've been running around, I really feel very, very red. And this just covers up that redness and just zhuzhes everything up a little bit and kind of ready to go. And if you really feel like you really need to freshen up, I like Chance Auto, little spritz of that. And you feel like you feel a little bit different. You feel a little bit more perkier. So just plan ahead, people. Plan ahead. Take your products, put them in a little plastic container like this that you have them ready to go. Put them in a little bag. Put whatever is your go-to products. It could be 5 products. You could use a concealer and a lipstick and use a lipstick for your cheek blush, whatever that is. Or you're somebody who really needs powder. You might want to invest in a powder foundation if that's something you don't usually use. Instead of doing your whole routine, just use that and a bronzer and whatever else that you feel, your brows, your liner, lip. But have fun and keep Zooming and keep video conferencing and visit people because it's really important that we stay happy during this time. Bye.